Hello, friend. Today I will tell you the story about the mystery of skinless man in the Cendana village. With me as narrator, Muhammad Wahyu Akbar. I'm to share this story with you. Let's begin. The story begins when I and two of my friends named Sonny and Yoga plan to go on vacation to Yoga Girlfriend Village. The village is called the Cendana Village. The village is located near an area that is flanked by two large mountains and is filled with a lush of forests surrounding the village. The reason we all agreed to vacation in the village is because Yoga girlfriend named Lani suggested the village because in the village there is a fairly large natural waterfall spot and there are also two mountains that can be used as location to climb mountains. And coincidentally, the mountain is quite well known as a spot to take a very beautiful photo. As three nature-loving students who enjoy exploring and climbing mountain, so we agree with Lani's suggestion without hesitation. On Friday at night, we spent the night at Sonny house to pack up all the equipment needed for mountain climbing and exploration. That night, before going to bed, we talked a little about our past until we started to feel sleepy. In the morning, Sonny woke up in a hurry. We also woke up and we are confused when we saw Sonny's behavior which was different from usual. He curled up in the corner of the room saying, let just cancel it to the Cendana village, said Sonny. Said I, why Sonny? We already planned it long ago, said I in a slightly angry tone. Patient bro, let's listen to Sonny's explanation first. What's wrong, Sonny, until you want to cancel our plan this time, said Yoga. Sonny also answered with only word. Just nightmare. No more word, just only nightmare, Sonny said with an excessively worried face. Huh? Sonny, you are not kid anymore, right? You are the same as the one who afraid that is obviously just an unimportant dream, said I in a mocking tone. Yoga also looked out, loud, hearing my words. After Sonny talked for a while, he finally agreed to come as long as he could bring his father's gun, just in case. We agreed and immediately went to take Sonny father's gun secretly. Because if Sonny father found out we would secretly take his spare gun, guaranteed we will definitely go to jail. I mumbled to ourselves. Because I know that Sonny's father is a police officer with a fairly high rank. After we managed to retrieve the real gun in the gun storage area in Sonny's father's room, we replaced the gun with a toy gun that we bought at the market for 50,000 rupiah. After all of our equipment was ready, we rent a car for 1 week activity. The distance we will travel is about 166 kilometers and it takes about 4 hours to get to the village. We started leaving at around 8 a.m. from Sonny house. At around 9:13 a.m., I stopped the car around a rather quiet area because I had the urge to pee. I finished it in the bus on the side of the road. After that, we started moving again toward the Cendana village. After some time until the time was 10:26 a.m., we saw an unusual event on the road. We saw the appearance of a skinless weasel running on the side of the road. Suddenly, I stopped the car. Bro, did you see that? What the hell is that? Sonny said with a worried face. Maybe I saw it wrong or what was clear. I saw a weasel with no skin at all. So it looked like a lump of meat that was running pretty fast. I said, who explained it stammeringly. After hearing that, Yoga started to get worried and told me to get out of the car to check on the weasel. When I got out of the car, suddenly the weasel disappeared without a trace. I thought that weasel was scared when he heard me open the car door, and the weasel immediately ran into the forest again, said I, reassuring Yoga and Sonny to not worry anymore. We continue our journey again and around 11 a.m. we found a food stall. We also decided to rest for a while at the food stall, and we want to recharge our energy and our stamina because we were quite tired on this trip, especially when we saw the appearance of a skinless weasel that really drained our energy and stamina. We also ordered some food and drink. That time I ordered a rice uduk and omelette and iced tea. Sonny ordered a rice with grilled chicken and orange juice, while Yoga ordered 2 servings of fried noodles and chocolate ice as a drink. We also ate voraciously so that we could forget what we saw on the road earlier. So we will not have any more image in our mind when we were going to sleep. After eating, we continue our journey to Cendana village. We departed from the food stall at around 11:13 a.m. After some time, around 12:25 p.m., we arrived at Cendana village. Sure enough, I, Yoga, and Sonny were quite amazed by the beautiful surrounding of the village with the view of two towering mountains that made the three of us chuckles in a way. After I was satisfied seeing the mountain, I sent Yoga to Lani's parent house to ask for permission to stay. The reason I asked Yoga to ask permission from Lani's parents was because Yoga and Lani got engaged after graduating from high school and promised to get married after graduating from college. We immediately went to Lani's parent house in the village and immediately asked for permission to stay for a while. After we got permission from Lani's parents, we immediately rested because we were already tired because of our long journey. We woke up from our sleep around 7 p.m. because Lani's mother woke us up for dinner. I, Yoga, and Sonny immediately got up and immediately washed our face so we not put on sleepy face on the dining table. After washing our face, we sat down at the dining table to immediately eat the food that has been provided by Lenny's parent. While we eat, Lani's father talked with Yoga about Lani and Yoga's engagement. The two of them talked so seriously. That time passed until 11 p.m. Because we were sleepy, Sonny and I say goodbye to sleep first, leaving Yoga and Lenny parents who were having a serious conversation. At around 12 o'clock at night, Yoga returned to the room with some suspicious look on his face. Because I was curious, I asked Yoga, "What do you ask to your future-in-law, Yoga?" I said mockingly. "It's okay. It's just discussing about my engagement with Lani," said Yoga with a straight face. Because I was lazy to find out what was going on, I immediately told Yoga to go to sleep. Immediately, following Sonny, who had been sleeping first. "You are not sleeping, bro?" said Yoga. Later. I want to play slot gambling first. Who knows? I get the jackpot, I said, logging. After hearing that Yoga immediately fell asleep, I was so engrossed in playing slots that night that I forgot the time. When I looked at the clock on the wall, it was 3 a.m. I immediately want to sleep, but I was still excited to play slot because I had quite a lot of money. When I was getting sleepy, suddenly I heard the sound of booze that has been passed by someone. I opened the window to check what was happening outside the house, but I found nothing but a dense forest covered with many bushes. I immediately closed the window again because the weather was cloudy and the air was very cold. And I immediately fell asleep because I want to refrain from playing slots. In the morning, Yoga and Sony woke me up because I overslept until 9 a.m. They immediately invited me to have a breakfast at a food stall in the village. Since I was already hungry, I agreed to their invitation. When I arrived at the food stall, I immediately ordered fried rice. Yoga and Sonny ordered fried rice. After we finishing eating, we immediately got ready to go to the waterfall spot in the village. We also prepared supplies and various other tools. After finishing preparing, we immediately went to the waterfall spot by walking into the forest. After walking for almost half an hour, we finally arrived at the waterfall spot. We immediately take some photo with the background of the waterfall. After being satisfied with taking picture, I invited Sonny and Yoga to swim near the waterfall. They agree and they began to change into swimsuit. After finishing getting ready, we jumped into the small river under the waterfall. We had so much fun that we lost the track of time. Because I was tired, I learned I leaned near the waterfall. When I looked sideways between the waterfall, there was a cave wide enough for people to enter. Because my curiosity was quite high, I entered the cave. How surprised I was when exploring the cave. Deeper I found a temple that was used for offering, but I didn't know what it was for. Because I felt scared in that place, I decided to get out of the cave immediately, very quickly. I rushed to the edge of the waterfall to immediately take clothes and change my clothes. After I finished changing my clothes, I immediately invite Yoga and Sonny to change clothes and go home immediately. Why do you want to hurry to go back to home? Said Yoga. I'll tell you later when we get home later, said I with a worried face. If that's what you want, let's go home, said Sonny. They immediately went to the edge of the waterfall to change clothes. After we all changed our clothes, we immediately went to Lani's parents' home. After arriving at Lani's parents' house, I immediately told what I had met in the cave. When Sonny heard the story, Sonny was very scared, in contrast to Yoga, who listened to my story with an expressionless face. Shortly after hearing the story, Yoga excused himself from going out for a while to help prepare food for dinner. Shortly after Yoga come out, Sonny and I were called to the dining table for dinner. Sonny and I started to eat, but strangely, Lani's mother and father and also Yoga did not touch the food at all. We didn't seem to care about the weakness shown by Yoga and Lani's parents, and we continued eating. Shortly after eating, we felt dizzy and started to feel weak on the dining table. It looks like the anesthetic is starting to work. Don't hate me, because you will be the sacrifice of honor in this village by sacrificing your precious skin. After we heard that, we faint because of the effect of the medicine given by Yoga. When we realized we were already in the temple, I entered the temple that I entered while at the waterfall. There are many Cendana villagers in the temple. They were chanting some kind of spell that I didn't know about. I also tried to ask what the current situation was, and the answer that came out of the people around us were also same, just like, we will skin you until you only have meat, and we will offer you skin to the guardian god of this mountain, so that our villager get immortality and prosperity exists. We were worried and tried to run away, but we could not because we were blocked by the villager who had gathered to witness the ritual. After I remember that Sonny broke his father's gun just in case. Incidentally, at that time, Sonny broke the gun in his underwear. Sonny broke the gun because he had a bad feeling before the dinner last night. I also quickly took the gun with my hand tied into Sonny's panty. After I managed to take the gun, I threatened to shoot everyone in the temple. However, the people in the temple just laughed very loudly. You don't know anything. You shoot me in the head right now, said Lanny's father. So I shoot him in the head, and how surprised I was when I saw Lanny's father head regenerate. What the hell is going on here? Said Sonny and I with a very surprised expression. Our villager always sacrificed two people from outside the Cendana village once a year. We do that because we are offered immortality by the guardian god of the mountain. The mountain god always wants human skin to wear because he himself does not have a skin. Just so you know, my own age has reached 400 years, said Lani's father. Everyone whose skin we cut will be thrown into the dimension of darkness and let them live in the eternal darkness without a clear purpose in life. Even if someone come out of that dimension, at least they have turned into a skinless animals, said Lenny's father. After hearing all these facts, Sonny and I feel resigned, but we still have hope that yoga will come to his sense. However, that hope is this. When Lani's father tells the truth about yoga, you remember when you both left us at the dinner table during the first dinner that night? Yes. At that time, I brainwashed with yoga because after marrying my daughter, Lani's he will become a citizen of this village, said Lenny, father, with a proud expression. We can only surrender when there is nothing else to hope for. After the resident finished reciting the spell, the form of the mountain guardian god finally appeared. He was like a man who had no skin at all and always dripped with blood when he walked. The guardian god of the mountain walked toward us and wiped our face with a blood-soaked hand. After that, the people started skinning Sonny, starting from the feet, hand, and scalp. During the process, Sonny's screams sounded very loud because he had to endure the pain of being skinned alive. After an hour or so the process started, Sonny finally became a skinless man, and he was thrown into the dimension of darkness with the gun he broke before. I also begged not to be skinned, but unfortunately, everyone in the place laughed with joy when they witnessed the incident, and it was my turn to the excessive mental pressure. I ended up unconscious while being skinned. When I woke up, I was already into dark dimension. Holding the thing I like, the cell phone. There is only endless darkness. Here there is only a group of skinless men who just like us live without an end. Thank you for hearing my story. See you in another change in the future.